I'm starting recording now, by the way. It started.
What's up?
It started the recording.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Word. Let's see here. Do you get you know what I'm talking about with wallpaper engine? Did you check that out?
Wallpaper engine?
Never heard of it?
I don't think we had this conversation.
Do you not? You must not get my text sometimes.
My phone's been getting retarded recently. Courtney's definitely texted me like 10 times over the last 24, 26 hours, and I haven't gotten any of them.
Yeah. So like, look at my screen real quick.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, these look like pictures I'm looking at right now with this wallpaper engine. That's cool.
Well, but so what it does for you, so let's say you don't even want to fuck with making like, a video or like an itomizer, right? So watch this. So I think then if I play like audio,
Yeah, I see it bouncing around. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So if you it can help for, I guess, for whatever. I lost my train of thought. Anyways,
It's
you
fun.
get the idea.
Is what
I'm
it is.
stoned.
It's mostly just fun.
Well, it's so for a YouTube video, you're gonna have to have a picture or something, and if you have a moving object and that moving object interacts with the sound, it's doing like all work for you as far as dressing out presentation, and then you literally just upload that video with the audio and it's done.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Can I do that
Like
separately? Because right now I'm not recording the screen. It's just a black fucking. It's just black. And then talking.
right. So that app OBS, right? You just pop that shit on, and then just record your desktop.
Okay.
Whatever.
I guess can I do that?
Yeah, you can do it next time. You don't have to do it right now, but
Okay.
yeah. Pretty. Just makes things easy.
Yeah.
So where were we?
Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. So
I don't know what Andrew Jackson did for America other than being good at killing people. I don't know what he did. I mean, I know he signed the Declaration and squeezed lemon juice on it.
I'm trying to figure out I just want a number. This Indian Removal Act. How many Indians he removed? Holy shit. 1,000 out of 18,000 in the trail. Oh, that's the Trail of Tears. I don't think it was all. Wait, he created the trail. Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oof.
Dude
Was a piece of work.
Yeah, man. General Andrew Jackson statue in the middle of D.C. Dude, I will drive by that later today.
Give him a thumbs up. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
The okay sign. Okay. Nullification crisis.
So what good did Andrew Jackson do? Did he do anything good?
Well, I guess we would just have to weigh. I'm gonna guess the Trail of Tears. We could say
It's sufficient.
kind of like if Hitler pulled 7 million Jews out of poverty but killed 6 million, I think we can safely go it's still bad.
Yeah.
It's not just strict utility.
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get swallowed by the utility monster there.
So here's a strange thought to think about. At some point, assuming the okay, this fuck. Okay, well this has to do with. I'm now getting outside of other thoughts I've had surrounding this. If humanity continues to survive and we keep growing, and then we get off the planet and we get really good at spaceships, and we get into the like trillions of people, hundreds of trillions. I don't know what comes after trillions, but just lots of people, and you could effectively be able to like murder and torture a billion people, but be able to save and prosperize 100 times that number of people. Should that person, if they, and then say they're the leader of the world, whatever it is, and then they, somebody puts up a statue, and I don't know, at some point they die, and then 100 years goes by, and people are like, do you think what ratio of killing people to helping people is a reasonable ratio to, one, give them a statue, second, take down their statue that was given to them at some point?
It's an interesting question, right? I'm going to tackle the first part first. There's this interesting, what did you say first? If you kill billions, you save trillions. Chinese robber fallacy. I have this thought in my head.
Chinese robber fallacy.
Yes, I think it's a fallacy.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So, I'll sum it up for you. When you look at the news, right? Let's say you see every single day 100 Chinese robbers rob other Chinese people in China, right? 100 every single fucking day on the news. You're like, oh my god, there's a fucking pandemic of Chinese people robbing motherfuckers.
Yes.
But then you think about it, and you go, okay, they have cities with hundreds of, or not hundreds, millions and millions of people, right? And
100? I don't know what the... Yeah, continue.
I'm too high for numbers. But that could be 0.00001% of the population.
Yep.
Now, let's say...
It sounds like Florida, but continue.
Yeah. Let's say you live in a society where there are thousands of thefts by Chinese people every day. Is that... How can we... is that even a lot? There's probably a robbery every day in your city, right? And your city probably has 10,000 people. So you're saying that we are 1,000 times worse than China, but it seems like a fucking lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
This idea that, some sacrifice can't be made at a small level to save a lot, or that you can't decide. The numbers are something you can get lost in. That's all I wanted. It was more tangential than I wanted it to be. But I think the only way you can weigh if killing billions to save trillions, you have to know what are on the other side of the coin. What is on the other side of the coin? Like, if you're telling me if you don't do it, then trillions will die. Well, then now we have consideration. But if you tell me on the other side,
that's too obvious of a utilitarian argument.
Right. So yeah.
No, I'm saying this person was just I don't know if a demagogue is the word for it, but they just wanted to be in power, and they wanted to be able to have a legacy, and they also didn't mind murdering a billion people, but they were able to make society better for all the hundreds of trillions of other people that are in the universe.
Everyone had 50%. Everyone had food, water, and an education, or everyone had a roof over their head. Something that would be in the middle of tough.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here about a possible. So this person wanted to end poverty. They wanted to get rid of poverty, and they've done a pretty good job of getting everybody, most people up to snuff in terms of shelter, food, and education, and job opportunities. But they're just like, well, now we could just end poverty by killing all the poor people because we don't need them anymore. I don't know if I'm liking this. Where I'm going. I'm not saying I want to do this. I'm just trying to think of somebody.
Of course, we're thinking about.
Yeah. So this person decides to murder all the people, and then they can go, I ended slavery. Look at me, I'm fucking great. And then a bunch of other of the political brown nosers are like, oh, this person did end poverty. Let's make a fucking statue. And then they made a statue. I don't know. And then that's what happened. Do you think and I mean a billion people, but then first that billion people were 1% of the population, and then they also did help the other people. They just wanted to also end poverty.
That's a fucking tough one, man.
Should their statue come down?
Oh, should their statue come down, or should we say kill billions? That's a.
Should their statue come down? They already did kill billions. Not that we should.
Oh shit! I was trying to kill billions. I was like,
no, okay. Also not billions. 1 billion.
I don't have 1
one,
billion. Okay.
1 billion people versus about a couple hundred trillion people in the known galaxy. Sure.
I would have to weigh. I would have to know. Fuck. I keep wanting to make the ethical decision on killing billions. That's so much more interesting. I want to know if I should kill billions. I think if a guy brings everyone out of poverty, sure, yeah, leave his statue up. I think if he saves the planet, but well, okay, did he know he was gonna kill billions?
Yeah, no, the whole plan was that he wanted to be able to say that 0% of the people in the galaxy are poor. And
fuck, man.
He could have like gone through the route of like trying to genuinely like make them.
Are they like hooked up to the Matrix bubbles? Like they're
No.
still being fucking milked to this day, or was it like a killing, like a firing squad, quick just, and then we suck their blood?
Oh no, it was all just firing squad or like nukes, just big nukes. They just took out planets of people. Like there was the shitty the ghetto planet or whatever. I don't know if I want to say ghetto, but. There's just there's just the poor planet, okay, and then they're just like, well, if we just get rid of let's just get rid of this planet, and then they got rid of they blew up the planet, they Death Starred it, and then there wasn't any more poor people.
So we have a real life event that was just like this.
Which
we could say it involved Japanese people.
Well, no. That wasn't really any different. No. I mean, that was very different. It was very different.
Thank you for agreeing.
No. I said the wrong thing. It was very different.
Let me set it up, and then you can tear it down.
Okay.
I would say we weighed killing instantly 100,000 Japanese people to likely save the lives. We thought that Japanese people, if they are willing to fly planes into our warships to like destroy our navy, we view them as being, and then we're fighting them in the Pacific, and they're literally running into our machine guns until they take over us. This is an unfucking reasonable, like, we're not gonna, like if the Taliban was organized, and they were just suicide bombing us with an entire country backing them, and their leader saying, yes, we are for this, we're going to do this.
Yes, do it.
And so that enemy is arguably it's going to cost us hundreds of thousands of lives to win this war. It's let's say it's 10 to 1. Let's say it would have been 1 million Americans to make it clean. And there's 100,000 Japanese. Technically, we saved 10x or 10x more people and 1 million people's lives. That's my structure of it. Not tear it down.
Okay. Well. Okay. So I mean, it's. So we're trying. So that's for the most part just a calculation of people dead to other people dead. You know. So I mean, I think they did weigh to some extent correctly. But
well, so sorry to finish it. Should we celebrate the president who did that? Should we have a statue of him to make it circular or fully?
Come back to the point. Yeah, I think so.
I forgot to say that.
Yes.
Of USA that bomb. Was it?
Truman? No, I don't think it was Truman.
Yes.
Oh, it was Truman? Oh, okay.
Look at you.
I don't know why I knew it was Truman. I didn't know it was Truman. I just felt like it was Truman.
You juked me. Like, I don't know this. Truman!
Is there a statue of Truman? Oh, hold up. Time out. There is a statue. There's a couple statues of Truman.
Mm.
Truman statue campaign in the Truman Library Institute. There's a whole. Oh nope, it's a 404 not found. So never mind.
You can't even have a website.
Dude, there's a statue of Truman in Athens, Greece. Why is
I
there?
see that.
Why is there one of them in Athens?
What year is this?
I mean, he made a hard decision.
True. Like when I tried to decide whether I should wear socks with. Oh, damn it! I misspoke.
Yeah. So my thing. Okay, so the thing, my situation I'm thinking of is it's not that there was possibly there could have been 2 billion people dead, but instead we decided to shoot 1 billion people to stop that from happening. What I'm saying is that this person did a lot of good things, but then also did this other kind of cheat thing to appear to get more good things. So we'll say half of the universe was poor, or the galaxy. So say there's 100 trillion people, 50 trillion of them were just like fucking poor, you know, like they're eating bread and American cheese, and that's it. And they have to kind of like, they drink slightly muddy water, you know. And over the course of, I don't know, 60 years, this person is somehow in charge of the galaxy. And they get that number to get all the way down, like, so basically 999,999,000,000,000 people are now sufficient, you know, like they're good. They have their apartment or whatever, and they have clean water, and they, you know, whatever. They went to that. People are going to school now. They have jobs, but this person is a little bit of a perfectionist and also morally questionable, and they decide that they want to have no poverty. And somehow or another, part of this situation, they started like filtering out just the poor people they couldn't get rid of onto this one planet, and then so that this kind of insane leader can go, I ended poverty. This leader, whoever they were, just bombed that planet and killed 1 billion people that were poor, just so that they could say there are no poor people in this galaxy. They didn't have to. They could have left them there. They would have been alive. They would have been poor as shit, but they were alive. They didn't save anybody by killing these people. It's not like they were hogging up resources that everybody else was using. So there was like no utilitarian reason to kill them, but they did, just so that, you know, they could have their own like, oh, I ended fucking poverty. And then, you know, all the brown nosers were like, oh, he ended poverty. Yeah. And then they built a statue, and everybody's, you know, people that day were happy. And then 100 years goes by. And then
go on. That's what I was going to say.
What?
I was going to talk about the 100 years from there.
Yeah. And then 100 years goes by, and then, like, I don't know, somebody's, like, grandmother's sister was one of those poor people that got blown up in the planet.
Well, so what if, so in 100 years, does everyone stay, like, so you could make the argument that as that population was within our population, let's say, for instance, poor was a disease that only spread at like 0.01% a year. So it's just like slightly taking over slowly over the world. Or if he ends and kills all those people, is that gene or whatever it is gone from society? So it does improve society over time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Or am I really just infinitely fractaling now?
I don't know. Let me think about this. Okay, let's just go with this. Well, let's deal with one situation where 100 years later, there's still no poverty.
Okay.
But there are some people whose grandparents knew people who got blown up, and it's probably a small amount of people that know somebody who knew somebody who got blown up. But they still felt like, you know, after reading a lot of like moral philosophy and stuff, and I don't know, they just wanted voices to be heard, you know.
Yeah, because that's what happens. The woke people are always the ones who just got done reading philosophy.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
They read like I don't know. There's many reasons why some people would have to complain about that happening. whatever it is, then like say 1% of the population goes, I don't like the statue. We should get rid of this statue.
Yeah, I think he's a piece of shit. He didn't. I mean, that was a dick move.
Yeah, it was. Now, okay, so and this is assuming that even if the world had continued, so maybe the population went up from like 1 trillion to like 1.5 trillion, which is still 500 billion more people, which is a lot of people. But if they had left the poor people on the planet, that poor planet would have also increased to like, I don't, whatever, 2 billion or like 1.5 billion. Or I guess if we want to be proportional here, I guess it would be.
Your audio's cutting out.
Okay, is it okay?
To like turn off the echo canceller on in your settings. Yeah, because you sound like that.
Okay, let me voice and video. Echo cancel. Okay, how about now? Is this any better? Is this any better?
Keep talking.
I'm talking more. I'm realizing it's
beautiful.
4:30. Okay. So it's 4:30.
How much time you got?
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
I think we can power through it. I have a bunch of thoughts here.
Let them fly.
We can probably power through them here on my screen. So the first half I just kind of wrote down like what she said and kind of some thoughts. But towards the end, I started writing in all caps. I started definitely fucking. I was thinking of the downstream implications of what she said, and it just upset me. Okay, so statues are. I'm just reading this out loud. I don't know which part it gets. So statues are mere records. We should erect. You like how I write in C++ like a fucking retard?
No, I like this.
We should erect new statues instead of murder, just because of wrongdoings. Okay, holy bad person. Where are the muddiest examples? Do they meet duty of and other requirements? So if someone leaves office, should they, so she says that the state should apologize, and that the state is, wholly endorsing something when they erect it back then.
Mm-hmm.
They are not wholly endorsing it. They don't apologize, and I wanted to yell at her. That's not how government works. Government isn't this unified thing that never changes, because when someone else comes to office, it's not a democracy, let's assume, hopefully. It's not a good look to be like, hey, now that I'm the president and I'm a senator, I'm the government, and I apologize because I bombed the Japanese.
Or
like,
because
that's not how government works. You're a new administration. You might say they, but they were the government, and then the new administration is also the government. But they're the same, but they're totally different people. There's the bombers and the people who didn't bomb the Japanese in this example. They're not a monolith. The government is not this entity that is always, and maybe in the UK it's different, where you're the monarchy, so you should apologize. I didn't like that at all.
Okay, I'm not totally sure exactly what you're getting at. So we have people that replace, like, are you saying it's like not smart for the new government officials to disavow their predecessors? Are you saying that's just not what people do, and that's just not how, I guess, the nature of humanity to do that? Or are you saying
no.
That even if they did, it wouldn't amount to anything?
So she was making the case that the government did a wrong, so that the government should apologize, as in like, hi, I stabbed you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. But the eye that is apologizing wasn't the eye that stabbed you. That was
Harry
Truman.
Sure, yeah,
You
but
know?
I mean, I still think you can make apologies on behalf because you are a member of the group, and you can say, "Hey, I'm sorry this happened." Like, I mean, because to some extent, you do have a fluid identity with that person.
Well, so this has bad downstream implications.
Okay.
Yes, um, at face, at its face, that makes sense. But if you were to think that that means all wrongdoings that should be righted, so we should give all the lands back to the Indians. We should, um, anyone we've stiffed in the past, we have to right that wrong. There's a lot of downstream implications where you get in some weird situations where everyone is owed the past wrongs and is like so for every so now we should go continue to rebuild Afghanistan and continue to prop up and defend against the Taliban because we started that arguably. We should go into Vietnam and rebuild because we fucked them up. That was pretty bad. When you where yes, I think that uh, in obviously easy situations, the government should try to make amends. But at a certain point, we all got to fucking move on.
Yeah.
You can't, you can't. She was holding the today government that didn't apologize back in the 50s for whatever. And it's like, okay, well, we can't just, for like just wholly go to the other side and then just make every wrong right because it's a new group of people or it's a new government, it's a new us, it's a new people that did those things and wanted that bad thing to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, I think at least with respect to statues, I don't know if it's like. I think taking down, certain statues is sufficient as of an apology. It's not righting the wrong totally of those people, but at least it doesn't say, "Hey, it's still fine that we did that stuff." Um, yeah.
Oh, and then she said that I would agree. I think it makes sense. Stop taking money from wrongdoers. So she also said it's um, probably not good to take money from like a charity shouldn't take money from a bad actor because that money came from bad play. And I don't that was at the end, but that was just a dumb point because like it was all this downstream moral righteousness that has so many bad implications. I would agree. I think I wish you would have read that paper on consequentialism. It was really good. But I kind of made the point back then that was that no one is a consequentialist or a deontologist or
You're,
a virtue
yeah, you're
ethicist.
some type of mix of them.
Yeah, you have to because on any point there's the utility extreme where it's just such a like obviously like fuck yes Hitler did not do any good like even a measurable good except for the people that were in the Nazi party and Germany that were getting
He threw some good
big
parties.
ups. Yes, he did. So at some point there's a virtue or a wrongdoing that is so bad that just on principle or on whatever what is it, deontological ethically principled we should condemn that person and then on the other side you do have to weigh the consequences that if your virtues of never hurting the feeling of a minority is on the other side we're never going to celebrate a president ever again because all of them were around and didn't vote or put a law up to save all black people everywhere, then that person can't have a statue. I think is also a bit extreme. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also think it's part of me thinks it's kind of fine to just ignore the people who found like not ignore but stop celebrating the people who started I guess America in our case, but or whatever country it is that you're in. Because you could just move on. Like it's not like they're not gods. Like we don't need to keep venerating them as if they're gods. Like we have new stuff. Literally, they didn't want to be like that. They wanted people to just like rewrite the Constitution. People are,
They didn't want to have a Bill of Rights because they thought that would in the future restrict what people would write. It's like kind of like the ultimate creative, right? Like here is your canvas. I don't even want to give you a palette of colors to work from here's your 10 primary colors.
Yeah.
Like, freedom of speech, freedom to have I don't even want to do that because I don't want everything else to be tainted by what I've given you.
Yeah,
I want you to just free flow with,
Because somehow or another, they seem to have they definitely did recognize that this is not the best. This is not the end all be all. Like we're still figuring this out, and they seem to have recognized that people are disagreeing, and we're gonna have to come to some kind of consensus for now, and it's gonna need to be we're gonna need to visit this as we've had more time to develop stuff. So they weren't like, I mean, they clearly did do a lot of, they had groundwork for doing a lot of good things, and they couldn't do all of them, for various reasons. But that doesn't we don't need to I wouldn't be too bummed out if we stopped having George Washington Day or whatever. I don't even know if we do have that. Dude, fucking Columbus Day cracks me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have some.
Well, okay. Well, besides the normal point that Columbus was obviously not that great of a dude, the reason why we have Columbus Day, I think, was from the 70s. Was Italian Catholics were oh, we like being Italian and people hate Italians, so we're gonna try to remind people that Italian people are awesome, and then they made Columbus Day.
Yeah, well, and even that, right? Even that. So, God, dude, that is such a great point, and it's so monolithic of a point, and you don't even know it.
I didn't. I also didn't know that Truman dropped the bomb.
So, Irish people were hated. They were as hated as minorities. They were considered like the Mexicans.
They were Irish slaves.
Right. So we have these monoliths, like black people obviously deserve a lot of it. But at the same time, from what I read, George Floyd did some fucked up shit. Now, he should not be killed. He should be celebrated and all that. But if you build a statue of him, he's got some skeletons in his closet.
Yeah.
Would BLM say we shouldn't celebrate that? So, if you look at the minority side, obviously, I agree with 99% of it. But you see how that utility, where you're doing that calculation all the time that somebody did a bad, that somehow you're going to catch some people that did a shit ton of good. But, yeah, they got some skeletons in their closet. As long as they're not, the De Beers guy, then I think we're okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, I gotta get ready to.
Gotta go.
Yep, I gotta head out.
That was fun. I love these fucking arguments.
So we'll probably bring this in tomorrow if Matt decides to fucking show up tomorrow. We can bring this up again. Yeah. I'm gonna probably go through it one more time. There were a lot of things at the end where I started going in all caps. So yes.
That was where I started to get angry, where she started to talk downstream.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow then.
Yeah, later, buddy.
See ya.